a big title change, and lots more fantasticness to discuss with you. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Money in the Bank After Show. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There it is. And there it went. All right. I know Markeia is happy to be hearing this right now.
Happy.
Yes.
I knew it. I guessed it like 2 weeks ago, and I kept on saying it on Twitter. I'm like, I know it's going to be minutes, not months, that he's going to cash that in. And he's the champion.
Yes.
I love this guy. This is great.
George, are you as excited as we are?
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. This is the Money in the Bank After Show. We have got, like I said, a big title change to discuss and several other matches to break down. My name is Christy Olson. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us on YouTube. We've got the live chat rolling. You are hitting us up on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. Please give us a 5-star rating and a thumbs up. Let us know what you thought about this show, about our show. We are going to be getting into it. We are excited, as you can probably tell.
Yes.
You guys can always catch up with me at Christy Reports, and I love to hear from you. Also here this evening, we have former predictions champion, George Hermoza.
Multiple times former.
Yeah, but still former.
And 2 times in a row for, I think, November and December.
It's okay. I'm also a former predictions champ.
That's
so.
right. Yeah, join the club, honey.
We were even co-champions back in the day.
We were. And another former predictions champ, although very happy this evening to see her Mandy and Ambrose take it away. We have got Miss Markeia McCarty in the house.
That's right, and you can talk with me on Twitter and Instagram, Markeia McCarty, and Snapchat, I'm Darth Thinmints.
Oh, and I'm on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, G Hermoza. I'm even on eBay
Twitch
where
and
I'm
the whole
selling,
stuff.
and Twitch too, where I'm selling all my magazines. Look at these cool magazines. I already got some bids on them, so once they're gone forever. I only have one of them.
We'll keep that in mind. We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah,
and
get it while you
Markeia
can.
rocking the red tonight, which Charlotte and Dana had going on.
Yeah, they were all accessorized together. I was like, okay, Dana, I understand where you're coming from with the protege mindset.
Yes.
And I liked it. But then everybody brought their gear game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
Lana.
And I mean,
wearing
that's what I watch these pay-per-views for, to see who scored some new gear and which action figure, they're not dolls, he says, George Hermoza will bring to the show. Who do we have? Who do we have joining us tonight, George?
a very loose Lana. No, feel her legs.
Okay.
She's very loose in the legs.
Oh, he's talking about her articulation.
Yes, yes.
Seriously.
Those dolly joints. Oh wait, not action figure joints.
Actually,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I heard that she was in a 4-on-4. Was it an 8-woman tag match last night?
She was not.
She wasn't?
Not
wasn't.
tonight, but
I
she has
received a
been
text message
before.
from George that told me last night that she was in a match.
I meant to say, was it Summer Rae or Eva Marie?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All
So she
right.
did not wrestle last night in Los Angeles.
All right. Well, we're still rooting for
gotcha.
you, Lana. And there is so much to talk about tonight after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view wraps. We are going to be getting into all of it. Of course, big news. I don't think anyone expected this surprise ending tonight. They're playing. Oh, Markeia did.
I totally did.
Markeia did.
I totally did. I knew it. I knew. Okay, Ambrose has impulse control problems, but it's fantastic. Like, they love to call him the lunatic fringe and everything.
Right.
And it's like, I knew that as soon as he had that Money in the Bank briefcase, that it's going to be one of two things. Like, it was going to be like, oh, a fake out, or it's like, I'm cashing it in after they beat them to a pulp. And that's what he did. It was like, what? Him and Kane have been like the only ones in, like, was it 10 Money in the Banks now? Mm-hmm. So I knew it was going to happen, and I love that it happened, and I've rewatched it like maybe 3 times now.
Oh, wow. And we're only like 2 hours after, so that's props to you, girl. I think we all sort of saw it coming. However, my prediction was that they were going to let it play out, that Ambrose was going to take it, and we were going to see this happen until next WrestleMania. We were going to have to deal with this whole thing.
Oh, no.
So I got to tell you, after Sheamus dragging it out, I am so happy to be able to report to you all that the Money in the Bank briefcase was cashed in tonight.
Well, we'll talk
Same
about
night
it.
that it was earned.
We'll talk about it, but he even said it on Raw. He said he was going to do it. So it's not really much of a surprise. By the way, I think, is Mark in the booth?
Oh,
Mark
yes.
Donica.
Howdy, everybody.
Hey, Mark, you watched the show, right?
Of course I did. Fun piece of trivia tonight. All 3 former members of The Shield held the World Heavyweight Championship tonight.
Oh, hey.
Oh, nice. Anybody else feel shivers? Because awesome.
Right?
Talk about a Shield reunion. I didn't even think about it that way, but yes, it went from Roman to Seth to Ambrose. It's amazing.
Oh, God.
It's
I was,
awesome.
I was so sure that Seth would walk out with it tonight, you guys. Oh,
Well, he was going to, but it was like Ambrose popping out of a gift box. That's exactly what it was. But the gift box was for us.
That's right. And it all started off with a big pre-show. There was a couple of surprises in this. We had our precursor of what the pre-show was going to be. That didn't quite happen. Some of those matches were moved up, and what we ended up getting was Golden Truth versus Breezango in what I will call a sexy sunburn match.
As I like to
Is
call
that
them,
accurate?
As I like to call Fandango and Tyler Breeze, Febreze.
Oh, but and you know what? They don't care about cease and desist now because you saw Cena's shirt, right?
Right.
Yes.
Take that, PBR.
Oh yeah, we'll be discussing that, and all the children wearing it in the front row.
They were loving it.
Okay, so Febreze, I mean,
Nice.
they had a real match though. These guys, like we get a lot of comedy from them, but in the pre-show tonight, they brought it out and they gave us a real wrestling match.
I mean, I missed it. Like, was there like a little vignette that showed why they were sunburned so much?
Golden Truth locked them in they were in the tanner, and then they did up the little dimmer switch. I don't know. I
It
don't
was
tan,
all like, I
don't
know what
need
you
it.
did last summer style.
Was there? A
Yeah,
clip?
it was like Mean Girls or something.
Was there
Yeah.
a clip?
Yeah, it happened before the actual match.
Okay.
You gotta watch that pre-show, Joe.
Yeah, it was
I
on
swear to God, I
kickoff.
started watching like around 4:10, and I was like, wait, why is Tyler Breeze and Fandango peeling?
But they both got in together because bonding.
Because I guess that's what men do. I mean, we don't do that.
No,
right?
no.
But I guess that's what the men do.
I don't tan at all.
Ladies never go to the bathroom together.
Yeah, but then it's like, peeling, and well, that's a safety issue. There's that, but we won't get into that. But yeah, no, it's like things were peeling. They could barely, but they showed up. They weren't like, oh, forfeit. And like, no, this is a pay-per-view, and Breezango is there.
Yes. Burned, but there. However, they did get burned in this match a little bit too.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, I think more so. I think I saw the culmination of the Golden Truth. I think this was their first on-screen victory
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we saw from them. So it's kind of good to see that. Hey,
They stacked the odds in their favor, but hey, Vegas, I get it.
Right? And I love the pairing of both of these new teams, and I can see more of it. I mean, they can keep doing this as far as I'm
really?
concerned.
I can care less for it, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
No, really.
I'm happy.
Solid comedy.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I like Breezango.
I'm happy to see Tyler Breeze and Fandango get TV time. I mean, obviously I wish they were in better roles, but I guess, like I said, I'm happy that they're getting TV time.
I like that they have that whole Zoolander thing going on. I think it's funny as hell, and I want to see more of it. I want to see them
I'm with you,
shaving each
girl.
other's back. And be like,
Yes.
oh yeah, I just found hibiscus, and then have Shining Stars come in like, yes, hibiscus is great for you.
Because we're both so aero-gigantic.
Yeah,
Right?
I forgot about that. That's fun.
Good stuff.
Never seen Zoolander.
Oh, well, I haven't either. But speaking of good stuff, we won't judge that right now. But we also had a little bit of Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys action on this pre-show. That one was unexpected. Did you guys feel like it was necessary?
Well, I thought it was an interesting addition.
Yeah.
I guessed it wrong. I thought Dudley would dominate on that,
So did
and that was really interesting. For me. But it's like, hey, luchas were doing what luchas do best. They were doing flippies and they were gymnasts, but they brought it home too. So. Hey, I can't be angry at that. There was nothing on the line anyway.
Right, and but that's what I always wonder. What is the point of this? So are they setting up, are we going to see a long-term rivalry between these two? Probably not. Was this just made to the Luchas look strong? Like, what do you think, George?
I mean, I think I love the fact that tag teams are kind of back. I think it's a little weird that the Usos haven't really been mentioned. I mean, and maybe Mark might know. Is one of them hurt? Or
No, one just came back from an injury, but I had the same thought today too.
Like you have,
we didn't see
Where are they?
You had 2 tag team matches on the pre-show. You had a 4-team match on the main show,
Yeah,
and no
far away.
Usos. Like they're one of the top teams that they had in like the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, we had the club even, adjust things later, way later on.
Right.
But yeah, no Usos to be seen.
It's a little weird. So yeah, I mean, but for some odd fact that you have those 4 teams on the pre-show, those 4 teams on the main show. You have the Usos. That's 9 tag teams that are, to some extent, are legitimate tag teams, not 2 guys that were thrown together.
Right.
Not like Drew
Slater,
McIntyre. I like the team. Not Drew. Yeah, that too. But not Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, who were 2 random guys thrown together that were actually tag team champions for a second. So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll see more tag team. We'll see a tag team revolution.
Yeah, especially with SmackDown Live happening. We got all these strong tag teams.
I mean, rumor has it.
Maybe Usos are going to be
And then throw in
around.
Primo and Epico. That's 10 tag teams.
There you
That's
go.
true.
Get
well,
those shining stars in there.
I think we're far enough in the show now where I can mention Total Divas without anyone getting too upset. So I'm saying maybe John is off with Trinity filming the new season of Total Divas, and maybe they just don't have time to be
Wait,
a premier
is he
tag
doing
team
the
in the
movie?
WWE.
Is he doing the movie? Because I know they're in the movie.
She's in the
Naomi
movie.
is.
Yeah,
But
she's in
he's-
Naomi
he's not in the
definitely
movie?
is.
Well,
No,
they gotta film
Oh, no,
those
I know
scenes
that.
where he's in the trailer waiting
Yeah.
for her to get done. I mean, come on,
I know that. So I know the
G-Herm.
Social Outcast too, which I guess another team
Yeah.
are in the movie too. So well, you're right. He's probably in Canada.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll give you a little pass for being off shooting a movie.
Yeah.
Because we love ya. But the big show kicks off with tag team action.
Oh, the Big Show.
The big show. Speaking of people we haven't
Show.
seen for a while,
know.
right?
He was backstage with Apollo Crews the other day.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And then you hit
I
little
love that
corny
little-
Apollo. Oh my God, I thought I had to beat you up for a second. Oh, shut up, Apollo Crews.
Oh, stop!
it. Stop
I
it.
love him. Do you love him?
I do.
We
He's
love
got like that
him.
$1 million smile.
Yes.
And, he threw his weight around.
Yeah, and I
today.
loved him in Knuckleheads. Are you talking about Apollo or Big Show? Whatever. What was the Big Show? What was the Big Show? What was the first Big Show?
Apollo.
Okay, the big show tonight was Enzo and Cass versus who we will call the Monopoly Men, the Vaudevillains versus
Yeah.
the Club versus the New Day, and this was for the tag team titles. Won a few matches tonight where a title was actually on the line, which I can appreciate. I have a little bit of a problem with it not being on the line in the other matches. However, I would have put money on that title changing hands in this
Really?
match.
I did not
Which you
want
did
it.
not
What did you
do.
guys pick?
No?
I had New Day all day. New Day all day.
I
Yeah.
picked New Day randomly, but I would have picked them
That's right.
regardless. I think the fact that I keep emphasizing that they're been the champs for so long since SummerSlam.
They are going to
Right.
break the record.
But I'm saying like they were saying a lot of the
There
same
you go.
things, saying a lot of the same things. When Nikki Bella was Divas champion, they're saying the
I remember
same
that.
thing. They're saying the same things for New Day. So I have no reason to doubt that they're going to have New Day break some form
Yeah.
of record.
I will say this though: once they hit SummerSlam, all bets are off because
Okay.
like we were saying, we have a lot of strong tag teams out there now, and even Vaudevillains are really bringing their game, their Monopoly game. Bringing their game tonight. And Anderson and Gallows, I was pretty impressed by. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the camaraderie, and then just Enzo.
They have
Enzo.
And love you,
Okay,
Enzo.
let's just talk about it because I know people are thinking about it.
We can give some
Wasn't-
Enzo love.
Yeah, Vegas counts the 3 count differently than maybe other cities do, because swear to goodness, it seemed like that title had changed hands, but it's like no, wait, match still on. Okay, I didn't have a problem with it because I wanted New Day to win, but I'm sure other people had a problem with it.
Well, they're sitting pretty at 301 days. The record is 334. So if they do take it to SummerSlam, they will definitely eclipse the record and become the longest running tag team champion.
Now here's a night like something that people always talk about is there's 2 different title lineages in the WWE. There's the one that Paul London and Brian Kendrick held for 334 days.
Okay.
And there's the one that Demolition held for over a year. I'm kind of curious which one they plan, if they plan on them breaking. I'd love to see them break Demolition's record, which is over like maybe 12, 13 months.
They keep talking about 334, so I'm thinking it's the Brian Kendrick.
Maybe,
and
yeah.
That's just the next record. If they make it to Battleground, they'll break that record.
Yeah.
So SummerSlam for sure will be closer. That's when we'll probably start hearing about Demolition.
Yeah.
Also, something that made me upset, aside from the bad 3 count, was at the end of the match, the not legal man was pinned for the win.
Right.
Yeah.
Carl
Yeah,
Anderson,
yeah, that was a thing
It was
too.
a very straight up slap on the butt of Aiden English, making him the legal man, but he got knocked out. It was really confusing. I like they've been doing elimination tag matches.
I love elimination tag
and
matches.
those are a little bit more straightforward, so I wish we got that instead.
And it becomes a little bit more dramatic when it's like the final two teams. You know, I'm a big fan of like I wish they had a lot more of that. Not the first pinfall. You know, you have a 25% chance of winning. I don't know. I never like those kind of matches, but when it is elimination, I think it adds a little element of a drama in there.
And for the show tonight, it's all about chance, so
Right.
it kind of fit it with the theme. Also, really quick, ML Toasted 420 in the chat is saying the demolition reign is 1 year, 6 months.
Oof.
It wasn't that long.
We have somebody else saying 16. So
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Okay, we can
They
double
won it
check
at
that.
WrestleMania 4 and lost it like maybe like mid '89.
Yeah, and just to ask real quick, Mark, do you have Teddy Long's music?
I actually don't. Yeah, I was trying to get it before the match, before the show, and something messed up.
But as far as the actual match
Watch
goes,
me on Raw sometimes. watch us on Raw sometimes.
as far
We
as
love
the
Teddy
actual
Long.
match goes, I thought it was a good match. I mean, yeah, like Mark said, it was a little cluster F, you know what, at the end with
Yeah,
all
and
They
the,
just needed to slow down.
And was
Yeah.
the point of that to set something up for the future, you think?
the cluster or the mess.
The fact that he didn't really pin
No.
the right man was not
no,
pinned.
I think it
No.
was just everybody was
was
confused
just
on
a
who.
mistake.
Oh, I think we're going to hear about that for months. I think that's going to be a whole thing.
I mean, I'm kind of curious where the New Day is going to go from here. You know, I do kind of want to see them maybe a more direct program with, you know, Anderson and Gallows. I think those guys have a lot more to offer. If anybody's been watching New Japan for the last year or two, I mean, you guys will know that these guys are pretty awesome. So yeah, we'll see where the New Day go from here.
Yeah.
Well, we were hit with an Owens Jericho promo at this point, which, I mean, Jericho reminds us he created the Money in the Bank ladder match. However, his opponents point out he has never won one. This was just supposed to set up us thinking maybe Jericho will win, which I don't know, you, George, were maybe thinking that he was going to win or not, but a lot of the guys here at AfterBuzz were sort of thinking it's Jericho's time. He's going to take this one because he created it.
Jericho
it's his chance.
He didn't need it though. He didn't need it in
That's a
any
good
way.
point.
He is so over. Stupid idiot all day. Oh, I love that it's now an endearment. It's an endearment that we can say to people. He's got Scarf. He's the killer of Mitch. He does not need Money in the Bank for nothing. That's why I did not pick him.
He's a 9-time Intercontinental Champion. He's like a 6-time World Champion.
Yep.
I mean, the guys have pretty much accomplished everything he's wanted to do.
He's an awesome threat. And
3 best-selling books.
He's a great wrench to throw in somebody else's machine, which you saw during the ladder match. But yeah, no, he didn't need it.
I love those promos though. Anything with like Kevin, because I feel like they're just improvising. Because it's just so many off the cuffs where it's
They're
like
that good.
I find it very hard to believe that somebody's actually writing this stuff. It's very off the cuff, like even with the whole like, oh, what do you guess? What are you gonna do? You're gonna call me a perro, right? Because that's the only thing you say in Spanish. And then you have Jericho like, oh, well, yeah, you're a perro idiot. And I was just like, this is actually really funny. Like I can watch these 3 guys like I want to see them like
George
in
is
a
like, I
ride-along.
could get right in there. I'd know what to say.
Yeah.
Come on.
I can come up with more than one Spanish word.
And I just want to say, Mark, you're getting a lot of shame in the chat roll for not having Teddy
I
Long's
gave
music.
myself shame. I'm working on it.
Shame.
But I'm not going to
We
be stupid
have
idiots.
almost everyone else's music ready to go. Just in Mark's defense. Like,
Dude, yeah.
literally,
And also-
we've got most of them ready to go.
And also, the wrestling shows are never in this studio, so they're not
That's
prepped
true.
whatsoever, but I tried.
Okay, I'm just hearing excuses, Mark.
Well, maybe a little bit of Baron Corbin. I know you've got some Dolph Ziggler music up in there because we see this guy all the time. And he keeps getting thrown. Thank you. Yes. He keeps getting thrown into these matches with Baron Corbin. We thought that this was actually going to be a kickoff match again for like the second or third time.
Yeah, like the
It
67th
wasn't.
time that they.
Right? Yes. Okay.
Tag team match.
My team has gone rogue, folks.
Oh.
I've lost them.
Just join. Just join.
Okay, all right.
Oh, there we go.
All right, now
fatal
now
four-way
you've lost us all.
no holds barred 8-man elimination tag match team.
And The Undertaker.
Yes! Because we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes. Oh, that just made me so
definitely was
happy.
not Baron Corbin or Dolph Ziggler's music. I know that much. Let's talk about these two guys.
Love y'all.
Corbin dominated in this one, but oh my gosh. There was some boring chants from the crowd. I get a lot of flack for my opinion on Baron Corbin, so I won't say a whole lot else.
Well,
But the crowd spoke on this one. They were saying boring. Was this a match that you guys needed to see again or no? Because I'm leaning towards no.
Okay, I enjoy Ziggler, and I enjoy the fact that they are using Corbin, because in the past, the other two Andre the Giant winners, it's just like it was kind of like they just kind of, it's not necessarily faded in the background, but it just wasn't relevant after that. While with him, they're keeping him relevant, but they're keeping him only relevant with his feud with Ziggler. And okay, I can see how there would be a match that would have to happen after the nut shots were equal, were equaled out.
Only ladies are allowed to use that phrase, by the way.
Yeah.
He hit
am I
Baron's-
not allowed to? Because I've been saying that all the
He
time.
hit Baron's Corbins, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he baroned his Corbins. Yeah.
I like that.
So I understand why, but this is like part 67 of the ongoing feud. I think
Right.
they have to super escalate it in some way, or they just need to move on at this point.
Agreed.
That's my opinion.
It's funny because I think Baron Corbin works best with a very athletic opponent, and if anybody needs,
Because he wants to actually be a football player. He doesn't care about WWE. Is that what you're saying, George?
Oh no, I was gonna
Oh,
reference.
I said that? Oh, okay.
I was going to reference
Is that what Lana said?
his match, his match from the October Takeover Respect pay-per-view or network special, Baron Corbin and Rhino against American Alpha.
Yeah.
And where toward the end of the match, you had probably like the sweetest transition when he end of dazed Chad Gable. And like I said, I just think he works best with a more athletic guy. For some reason, I just think that these two guys just don't mix well together. I think sometimes we see like two really good performers, and a perfect example is SummerSlam '93. Oh, look at that.
Wait, I mean, no, before you,
no.
oddly enough, Amy Schumer said that Dolph Ziggler was too athletic.
Maybe,
If you
maybe he's too
remember.
athletic. For
So
example,
it's
like,
interesting that you're saying he's
I'm gonna say
not
SummerSlam
athletic
'93.
enough.
You had Mr. Perfect versus Shawn Michaels. On paper, that should have been like the best match ever.
But
somehow it just wasn't. It
Michaels.
just didn't deliver as great as maybe people thought it was, or maybe even just didn't deliver at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think these guys mesh well together. I think it's time for each person to move on.
It feels like it's the majority opinion that it's time to just move on with this. I mean, great athletes, Ziggler was really bringing it in his way. But yeah, let's
Right, we're done.
let's tear that match in half, and then you go over here, you go over there.
Yeah,
Let's do other things.
and I'm wondering if when the Miz returns from shooting the new Marine film and the Intercontinental title race heats up again, Dolph Ziggler will go into that, and maybe we'll finally be done with this.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed. Just saying. The ladies came up next, and this was a surprise for me. We usually see them in that dreaded 7 slot, which they haven't been in for a while. However, tonight it kind of came early on. We had Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. We talked about this a little before we went on the air. Charlotte and Dana rocking the Team Bella red and black. Like, I was like, excuse me, I'm sorry. I have a lot of red and black shirts. They all say Fearless Nikki on them. None of them say Charlotte or Dana. You guys are rocking the wrong colors. I love them in the teal and purple, and this was just, not that it ruined the match for me, which is what we should actually talk about. But it was a big deal.
We can talk about gear. I have
Yeah,
no problem
right?
talking about that. I found it interesting that Charlotte's, picking those colors now, when before she was kind of flying under the flag of Flair.
Yeah.
And now it's Charlotte. So
Maybe that's the
So maybe
idea.
that's the whole thing with embracing the red. It might be something different, for SummerSlam or whatever. But I liked that. It was like her and her protege, and they have their own colors, and there they go down the ramp. Still has the style robe though.
I like when they
Yeah.
mix it up. If anybody's been watching Ric Flair's career, he always comes out. He doesn't have just one blue robe. He's got many, many, many robes. I dug it. Something different.
Even with your Brie Bella shirt on, you were probably sitting
do
there
love
watching
Brie
in your
Bella.
Brie Bella shirt.
I do love my
You
Brie
do
Mode
love
shirt.
Brie Bella.
But I did dig their outfit. I thought they looked nice.
Yeah, I liked Becky's thing. Long live her short-lived steampunk hat. It looked great from afar, and then it was like, okay,
And then it was on the floor.
This isn't working. You're like, yeah, I want that hat.
Well, this ended up being a pretty short match. I didn't find a whole lot of story being told until the very end. What did you guys take away from this?
Well, it kind of seemed like maybe they had to soak up some of the time from earlier. I don't know. I just got that feeling, and it was what it was. With Dana doing what she's there to do, which is to confuse, to distract. She did that. And Charlotte ended up winning on top of Natalia. What was the move called? It was the
natural selection.
Natural selection. Thank you. And yeah, that happened. So, but of course, after that, we did get a very nice heel turn from Natalia. So I did enjoy that.
Maybe the biggest surprise of the night. Literally, George texted me and was like, "Natty's bad now. Like, we can't even. I don't even know what to begin to do with that.
You can't even.
Hashtag I can't even with bad Natty. Where is this going, G Herm?
Hopefully somewhere good.
Bad Natty's going somewhere good.
I could be very wrong about this. I don't think we've seen Becky Lynch and Natty in a match together, or at least like a relevant match.
No.
So I kind of like this Natty heel turn just because like we haven't seen her. And I think she's a little still as a babyface. I think she just comes out, she smiles at the crowd. She's like, yeah.
Everyone loves her.
Yeah, she like stands, she stands with the back to the crowd. It's like, all right, we kind of get it, And a lot of people were complaining that like, oh, well, there's Natty just kind of being there. Oh, she's just gonna face Charlotte. She's just, getting Charlotte ready for Sasha Banks or whoever. It's like,
Right.
I don't like that role for Natty. I want to see Natty like really, really show what she can do, and I really feel like as a heel, I think she's gonna be able to do that. So I feel like we're gonna see Becky Lynch versus Natty, which I think was going to be an excellent matchup. Maybe Sasha versus Natty, maybe Paige versus Natty. I think we have a lot of new, fresh matchups with Natalia Neidhart as a heel. I'm kind of curious about now. I mean, where does Tyson Kidd fall under this? I mean, how far along is he along in his injury?
Because done forever, unfortunately.
Hopefully not.
That's still just a rumor, but I hope he's not. He's too good of a performer to lose to an injury like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've utilized Natalia in many different ways. I mean, if we think way back when, unfortunately, she had that stint where she would mess herself, she must have made somebody important angry.
Right.
But she's, when it comes down to it, she peed on herself. That was like one of the things, like way back when. Not super way back, but that
it was a
happened.
total diva storyline.
It was a
like whole
storyline.
Because I want to say that
everything.
her being a bad girl is definitely a lot better than her flatulence problem that they gave her a few years ago. Sorry, like,
But I think that just speaks to Natty, and like she will do anything. She will do anything for this company. We saw on Total Divas that they were looking to kind of push her to the side and tell her that it was time for her to just take on an ambassador role. She didn't accept that. I mean, you kind of have to give her props for fighting her way back in. People wanted to see her back. She didn't have a spot in that whole teams thing that happened when the Divas came up like last summer.
Yeah.
And she's doing it now. And people love it.
Well, something that I liked in the promo that they had with them, and then also in the match itself, where they were talking about Hart family, like her uncle and the such, and then they did the heart attack. It's like that bit of nostalgia. It's like, yeah, don't forget, her family's been in this,
right?
She's not just a flash in the pan or something. She's a Hart. She's Natalia. So yes, let's see her go heel. Yeah, it won't be that change of a gear. Let's say. So yeah. Let's keep it rolling and let's have more of her in a different way and see how it affects everybody else.
Yeah. Anxious to see what we will get from a bad Natty.
I think we're going to see a lot more TV time too, because obviously, like you have this roster full of people getting split in half. So I do feel like we're going to see a lot more TV time and hopefully like a true heel development from Natty, and probably see some good stuff between her and Becky.
Yeah.
And we will be covering it all here at AfterBuzz TV on the Raw show and the SmackDown show. And one guy who I don't see making a heel turn anytime soon is Apollo Crews, who had a pretty ruckus match tonight with Sheamus. Sheamus attacked him before the bell even rang. Were you guys expecting this to be so contentious?
Yeah, well, Sheamus was there to tussle, so he did some tussling early on. So, yeah. I like the angle that they took with it for Sheamus, because it can be a little bit trying to figure out, why are they fighting? Oh, okay, because of this. Well, with that, it's like, hey, I hate the new era, and you, to me, represent the new era, so I'm coming after you. Great. Got it. Thanks. You put it in a nice little box for me. So great, Sheamus and Apollo Crews. Okay, I do have to say one thing, though.
Oh, please.
When Sheamus first appeared and he's at the top of the ramp and there's nothing but bright light, I could not see him. He disappeared.
That's every week.
He disappeared in bright light for me.
Are you saying he's too white.
That was just, I was like, you could be the invisible ninja warrior, because that was amazing. But okay, but like
That's
the match
actually
itself.
his character in the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. The
Him and his
invisible guy.
mohawk.
Yes.
Yeah, but I thought it was a solid match. You know, we got what we needed to get, and oh my God, the moonsault that Apollo Crews did off of the apron, like onto Sheamus. The entire time I'm like, no, don't. Yes, thank you. I was a little bit disappointed that it ended up in just roll up, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because I like it puts Apollo over and I enjoy him.
Right, and there was a little contention. Sheamus was sort of complaining about like his roll-up thing and the whole thing that happened, and then Apollo Crews kind of came out of nowhere, rolled him up. I mean, it was about the only story we got from that match.
Yeah, Sheamus was legit hurt in his face. He was just like, huh?
He thought he was coming in there still having the Money in the Bank briefcase. This poor guy.
Yeah, he was flashing back.
Yeah. He had that for so long. He was considering that, cashing that in for so long that he was like, wait, that's not me? Yeah, so Apollo Crews definitely making a name for himself against a former Money in the Bank winner. For the win, that was a fantastic match. Moving on to another one that I was looking forward to. This is the first time that I feel like we've seen angry John Cena in quite a while. This is AJ Styles versus John Cena in a 15-year in the making match. And I think, for the future of either the SmackDown or the Raw franchise, we went back and forth a little bit the last few weeks on the Raw and the SmackDown after shows. Do we think that this Cena versus AJ Styles thing is something they're trying to get out of the way before they split them up? Or is this the beginning of a rivalry that we are actually going to see on SmackDown or on Raw? Either way, it was a great match. What are you guys thinking taking away from it? Where are we going from this?
I thought the match was fantastic. I'm a big sucker for like a hot crowd, and that crowd was just going so insane for both Cena and AJ.
It's like they were sexy, they were so good.
Yeah, like they were really good. I mean, complete opposite of Baron Corbin against Dolph Ziggler. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're a performer, you want that reaction that can get you from like the AJ Styles John Cena match. You know, if you're a performer and you hear boring, like what does that tell you? You know. Yeah, like I said, the match was pretty much great, fantastic. Not a big fan of the finish, but I mean, I like that AJ won. I don't like how he won, to be honest with you. I mean, and I was saying like, I mean, Kevin Owens beat him clean. How come AJ Styles can't beat him clean either? You know, but I mean, it was a great match. Definitely one of the best matches of the year so far.
Yeah. No, this match was awesome. It was awesome. I was so frustrated at Cena for like the beginning of it because it was the match was a slow burn just to begin with,
right?
And I was just like, I want 100% Cena. What's he doing? Has he faked himself out with like this younger, hungrier guy that's been traveling around the world, New Japan, TNA, and everything, and it's like maybe, but then I saw some of Cena and I was like, okay, so it was a slow burn. Oh, Cena wins, LOL. But no, it was AJ Styles. But yes, exactly what he said. I understand and I enjoy that AJ Styles, this member of the new era, won. I hate the way it happened, and especially because the club running out, repositioning because the ref is out of the ring, and then they kind of utilize that device later on in the later Rollins and Reigns match, and I was just, where were you, Usos? Where were you?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
that's where they could have come in.
They weren't beating up Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but it's like I kind of see them as the world police now.
Yes,
good
and that would have been
exactly.
And that would have been a good continuation.
And it's
of what
like
we've seen before.
Everybody else is hurt. New Day is chilling and eating some bootios at that point. So, but Usos wasn't in it tonight. So I'm like, I just wanted them to run out and do something.
I did like the story, especially early on, where we had AJ Styles just completely schooling John Cena on anything and everything, even kind of going into the later match. But then that's the John Cena that I like seeing, and the guy that when he feels like he's being outworked, the guy that's just going to completely just switch it up and just turn it up all the way up to like 11. And I think that's the John Cena that everybody can get behind of. It's whenever you feel like they're protecting him or whatever, that's when I think the backlash begins. But this is the John Cena that I love seeing.
Yeah,
the one who
AJ
steals
Styles
trademarks and stuff.
I'm sorry.
The one who steals trademarks and stuff. Okay,
AJ brought it tonight, though.
He
that
did.
was 100%. He was utilizing his toolkit. We got to see just about everything that he has to offer, and I loved it. I did. I didn't like the ending.
And I think my take on it is that they wanted us to hate that ending, and I'm seeing the beginning of what I think will be a very, 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 probably very, 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 very long rivalry between these two guys. I hope that they both end up on SmackDown so that I can talk.
I mean, I don't want to like go too far into it, just because like I want to see what they're gonna end up following up with on Raw or SmackDown,
Yeah.
or maybe they're gonna do something for the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I think it maybe John Cena's been really high on like Enzo and Big Cass, so maybe we're gonna see a six-man between John, Enzo, and Big Cass against the Club. Which if anybody knows, like I'm a
fun.
huge sucker for like six-man tags
I
or
figured we'd see
three-man
something
teams.
like that on Battleground because
Yeah.
it's about staking your claim. And
Oh,
then
right.
Going from there, making it like a cage match where nobody can get in at SummerSlam, so you have a big gimmick match at the next big pay-per-view. But I totally agree with all y'all. Ending was terrible. Well, not terrible. I didn't enjoy it, but I loved the story that it told that John Cena couldn't do his normal John Cena stuff, so he had to start pulling stuff out that he couldn't do, that he never does. And
That was interesting.
and I want him to be the guy chasing after this victory, because that's, like you said, George, that's the John Cena everybody loves and can get behind.
My favorite match out of last year's Kevin Owens John Cena feud was like the Money in the Bank match, coincidentally, because it was the one after he lost to Kevin Owens at Elimination Chamber. I thought that John Cena was just insane. He did some moves that I've never seen before, or that him did who before, and again, that's the John Cena that I saw today.
I'm never surprised by anything that he pulls out. I think this guy works hard.
This
He
guy
comes in,
is
always
a freak.
comes
The
back
guy
better
knows
than
Mandarin.
ever.
For
Yeah, did
goodness
you see that
sakes.
video?
No.
Oh my, you
He
didn't see
speaks
it?
Mandarin.
Fluently.
WWE was in China
I
the
mean,
other day.
of course he does. He's probably going to host the Mandarin Good Morning.
Oh, he's hosting the ESPYs.
Good morning. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't think of where they speak Mandarin.
China.
China. Really? All right. He's probably going to host Good Morning China in Mandarin next week, and
Or you're like
none
thinking
of us
like
will be
he's
shocked.
gonna host Good Morning Mandarina, whatever country
I
they
was
speak
this
Mandarin
close
in.
to saying that. Thank you for saving me, George Hermoza.
But I just outed you right now. Yeah, but John Cena's insane. I was at a show across the street from the WWE house show on Saturday, and just walking around, and I was like, man, they can never turn John Cena heel.
No.
Like I don't.
seeing the kids in the
it's
shirts and
it's
the
one of those
stuff.
things where it's like, and anybody that bashes John Cena or think that he shouldn't be the face of the company, if you're like in a management or you're the boss or the CEO, and you have a John Cena in your roster, like you have to push him. You can't bury the guy. Like he has to be like the number one guy.
Because he's made all the other guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but then
And
it's
he-
like it's also you're used to it. I mean, there's other guys that you can build up to that godlike stature, and I love that AJ brought that up. By the way, that it's like you're this god, but it's also gods can be defeated. David and Goliath kind of a thing. Although AJ is so not a David. It's just. I think that it's because he's been built up so much. He's a great humanitarian. I mean, oh my God, his work with like Make-A-Wish and then just like going the extra mile and just
What
really
he's done for
having-
Nikki Bella.
So
Like
it's
he's never came off bad on Total Divas. Like,
Again, what
let me
he's
talk.
done for Nikki Bella.
Let me talk to John Cena. Let me see what he thinks. Oh, John Cena has the point. All is well.
I can understand why people love him, and I can also understand why people love to hate him because it's like, wow, he might be one of the best parts of society.
I think it's to the point, and I thought of this when they were chanting "John Cena sucks." Like 10 years ago, 13 years ago, Kurt Angle used to come out, and even as a good guy, they would chant like "You suck," to his entrance, and I was just like, well, obviously Kurt Angle doesn't suck. But I think it's to that where it's like, you know what, I think they're just having fun doing it. All in all, to think that John Cena sucks in any way, he really doesn't. Like, the guy truly is.
Hey, as long as
guy.
there's a response given, that's great. There's nothing worse than just having nothing.
and he was not victorious this evening. And AJ Styles was not opposed to having his arm raised after what happened with the club. I thought maybe
I hate the name the
he would
club.
turn on that. I know I can't even say it.
Well, you
I know,
can
we
do
all
like a
do.
pause between the and
like
club. So
something-
like the
Something I put on my steering wheel so somebody doesn't steal my car.
Is it like a Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt that's actually a John Cena shirt? Does it bother you that much? When the kiddies are wearing the Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt that's actually a John
love
Cena
it.
shirt?
I think it's cool.
George is like, I already ordered one.
Yeah. Just been waiting 4 to 6 weeks.
Love it. Well, let's get to the title pay-per-view. What should we call it? The titular?
Say that word again?
The titular?
Titular.
Okay, sure.
the titular
match of the evening, yes. The Money in the Bank match. We have got Sami Zayn, Alberto Del Rio, Jericho, Owens, Cesaro, and of course Dean Ambrose up in here. It does not take long for the ladders to come out on this match. So many people had so many ideas of the way this would end. Like I said, a lot of the guys were thinking Jericho. Of course, they tried to set it up for us that Ambrose would win this on Raw, which makes me go, oh, that's not going to happen.
They were pushing
totally
Zayn,
happened.
like with the
Yeah.
promo before, and like being like, oh, Zayn's, underdog, everyman type. They were pushing him.
Yeah, so did you guys go into this thinking really that anyone could take it? Did you believe that?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, for me, I was Dean Ambrose, but my second choice was Kevin Owens because I was like, I could see him like really just flaunt that Money in the Bank, and that would be something that he could utilize. He didn't have to, sniff up to Stephanie or Shane anymore to be like, I need to be a contender. He wouldn't have to do that anymore because he'd have, the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Real quick. I loved it too when the New Day called themselves the Elite.
Hi, George.
Okay, but go on.
Yeah.
Just responding to our chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, that was me who wrote that. So.
Yeah, and the chat.
Well, but this was the point in the show where, to break the fourth wall a little bit, I was looking at the clock going, okay, we got a lot of time left. Like, either whoever wins this is going to cash in, and then the feed started getting really slow. I was like, okay, obviously Game 7 is over because people are tuning in. This is where it all got a little bit predictable and mucky, I think, just sort of in general. But like you said, Kevin Owens was amped for this match. People thought that maybe Zayn would take it. He threw Kevin Owens into Jericho at one point, which was a surprise with a hell of a haluva. I always have trouble with this one. Haluva. The haluva.
Yeah,
Kick
just
to
say it
Dean
in a
Ambrose.
Irish accent.
And that kind of set up that I thought, okay, we're taking Dean Ambrose out early. Are we setting him up to win? Did you guys find this to be predictable?
Not really. Like I said, I really thought anybody could win, especially now that I think about it. Anybody can really win these matches because just because you win the match doesn't mean you're going to be the next WWE champion. Yes, the odds are in your favor.
Very much in your favor.
But you look at somebody like Damian Sandow, who ended up winning the Money in the Bank.
Who? He held on to it for so long.
Who held the Money in the Bank for a few months, and then he
felt
ended
so
up
long, right.
not becoming the champion. So just
But
because
he became everything else.
yeah, so I could have seen somebody like
Including
a Sami
released
Zayn.
from the company.
I could have seen somebody like a Sami Zayn, winning, and then maybe somehow getting screwed out in the future of maybe he cashes it in, and then Kevin Owens screws him over. You know what I mean? So really anybody could have won. I would have picked Cesaro. I think my random pick would have been Sami Zayn anyways. But I would have picked Cesaro. I think it's Cesaro's time, but. Now that the bigger picture is there, it's like, okay, that kind of makes sense on why.
With a big springboard flying uppercut to Kevin Owens at one point there, I kind of thought that was going to be the end of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, and that was after he had the cross arm breaker, like Alberto Del Rio put him in a cross arm breaker on the top of the ladder. I was like, oh, okay, it's that kind of match.
Yes.
Yeah, they were having a lot of fun with ladders like that entire time. I really enjoyed when Kevin Owens set up Sami Zayn on the outside with the ladder, and it looked like he was about to do a running kick at it, and then said, no, I'll just do it to your face. Like, thank God. But yeah, ladders everywhere, like building ladder forts. Right? And then there was one that it was Dean Ambrose. I think it was Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, and that he frog splashed on top of Dean Ambrose on top of a ladder, and then they did a close up of Dean Ambrose's face, and it was so neutral that I was like, wow, he's not selling. Did he really just get hurt? And it's just too much.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, I gotta go. So there was like one moment there, but otherwise than that, I was totally invested in this match. It had me sucked in.
Yeah, there was that one move, body slam / Michinoku driver, what Sami Zayn did to Kevin Owens on the ladder.
Oh, when Sami Zayn killed Kevin Owens.
God,
Yeah, he was dead.
about that.
He was broken half.
That, like,
He
to the
was
point
dead.
where like you know, obviously the crowd was chanting, you know, holy ish, you know, and I was like, oh my God, that looked brutal. Like, that, man. Ouch, is what I said when I was at home.
Well, and a lot of the guys got really close in the beginning. It was this, they were telling the story of like everybody can make it up the ladder.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna paw at it like a kitten.
Yeah.
And this is my ball of yarn. Oh, here's Alberto Del Rio smacking me with a ladder. Okay, I'm just gonna chill out for a second.
Right.
You remember that when Alberto Del Rio, like, I said Alberto Del Rio. ADR. When ADR,
Yeah, we know who you're talking about, girl. It's fine.
smacked the crap out of Sami Zayn with a ladder while he was on it. I was like, all right, I like this.
Well, they literally built this sort of piece of architecture with the ladders, and it sort of seemed like any of the guys could walk out with the contract at that point. Was that the most exciting moment for you guys?
Yeah, I think when they were all kind of there, it was a good visual. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah, when
with
they
me,
were all just-
pro wrestling is many things, and one of the things is, you know, getting a great visual, not just for the crowd, but also, you know, just the in-home audience. And seeing that was like, I was kind of, you know, popping at home. I was like, cool, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and they've been utilizing that, like bringing all of them together in a certain way, like they did it on Raw, where it was just like they had Cesaro as ADR as you're going to be the timekeeper for this particular match. Oh, you two are on commentary, and it was just like, yeah, and just having them all together and how they had those promos together, and then even like this match, they ended up getting them all together on the ladders. I like it. It makes you realize all of this awesome talent that's going on. And it's like, hey, this could be anybody's game. Also,
I know. Now that you say that, I feel like we might miss this on Raw and SmackDown now.
oh,
Right? Yeah, because
this was a nice build.
Yeah, the guys have been telling a good story. But there were some titles on the line tonight. Not in every match by all means, but we did have Rusev versus Titus O'Neil for the US Championship. This was one that I think a lot of us felt we could predict the end of pretty accurately. And Rusev did dominate at the very beginning with a gnarly knee to Titus's ribs early on. Did you guys feel watching this like you knew what the outcome was going to be?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I knew what the outcome was going to
The
be.
best
but
part of the match was after the match when Rusev went outside to talk to his kids.
Oh, man.
That was the
Those
absolute,
are his
honestly.
kids.
And Rusev.
Right?
It's Father's
OMG.
Day.
And one of the things that I love, or I'm gonna love about Total Divas, and hopefully in the next few weeks, is anytime Rusev talks, he is freaking hilarious. Like he really, like I think a couple weeks back, right before he won the U.S. belt, he was
Yeah.
on that Wednesday weekly show with Michael Cole, with him and Lana.
Okay.
He was freaking hilarious. Like his off the cuff like humor is just so like.
Was that when he said he was going to eat Kalisto's heart?
Yeah.
With a straight face.
And just like even little things like sexual innuendos that he does, he's like, that's not the only thing I'm gonna do, huh? It's just so funny. So anything-
George is a
I'm
sucker for some cheesy
I'm
comedy.
a big fan of Rusev now. I'm a big fan of Rusev talking.
Yeah. Well, we definitely will see that you brought up Total Divas instead of me, so I feel like I can talk about they're
Yeah,
gonna be on
might as
Total
well.
Divas, and we will get to know them as whatever they want to give to us as their real selves.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised by this match. I mean, except for the whole kid element. Yeah, I did not expect that. And actually, when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe Titus will win. No, but I'm not surprised that it was a tap out with the accolades. I expected that, especially after if you remember, like back from Raw, Titus O'Neil comes out in the middle of a he gets like kicked in the back by Rusev and just like accolades until he's like passed out. It's like ever since then I was like, oh, there's some more accolades with your name on it. Yeah.
They're coming to you, honey. Sorry.
So I hope Titus gets another title shot though.
You
Maybe
know-
if they can build up more.
And I hope his kids are ringside to see him maybe win a title.
You know
I mean,
what?
he's been 6 years now. 6 years.
dude.
This is his
Kind of
first
a
title
long
shot,
time.
dude.
For singles title shot.
Yes,
Yeah.
first singles.
Do you think he deserves one?
I mean,
A solo title shot?
I think he
Do you know?
deserves one, just not with what he did to gain this one.
Oh.
You know, maybe a couple wins here and there would have been nice. Not just get one. Oh, I'm back from suspension. Here's a title shot. But I think I mentioned it before. I was like, I'm not really too excited. Not gonna lie, like I think they timed it perfectly because around this match was the end of the Game 7 NBA Finals match. So I feel like they did that intentionally because everybody knew it was like, I don't think it's me. And I would look at the crowd and I literally saw people in the crowd on their phones. I'm like, and it was pretty close. It was like literally 89 to 89 with like a minute left. So I feel like they timed it perfectly for this match to make sure the main event doesn't start.
Right.
When
Listen, I don't even know about that. Like I tweeted, in my house we watch real sports, and that wasn't on my TV. We were watching Money in the Bank, and we were watching it live because that's how we do in my house.
I'm watching it live too.
Let's move on to the big main event of the evening. A man who never officially lost the World Championship Heavyweight title versus the man currently in possession, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. There was a little bit of a question, even the commentators were saying, as the guys were coming out, is Rollins going to be a little ring rusty? What are we going to see tonight? And it started off crazy. Roman Reigns power bombs Rollins. And then he got frustrated that wasn't the end of it. Of course, that wasn't going to be the end of it so early on. Come on, right?
Right. Yeah. No, they went with it. They definitely. It was a full match. I will say, and people in the chat room are even bringing it up. And my absolute favorite thing was the spear into the pedigree that happened. That was
I
made it work for
rarely
me.
tweet during a match because I like to watch wrestling. I don't like to watch wrestling and not. I hope you guys don't do this. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I don't like to watch wrestling and then hey, let me text or let me tweet. Oh wait, what's going on? Okay, let me text. It's like I like to literally watch wrestling. But yeah, I tweeted. That's how cool it was. Where
Everyone
I was
just unfollowed you.
Where I was like, oh no, I need 500 followers. Where I was like, dude, that was cool. That was freaking cool. The spear into the pedigree. That was badass.
Seth Rollins also did the turnbuckle powerbomb that he actually got injured on, which I would have thought would have been more of a splash or people would have made a bigger deal about, but because of that, the turnbuckle powerbomb was kind of overruled.
He took his time with the rollover just to make sure that it was a safe landing. So
Yeah, it kind of brings back, how Enzo ended up with that concussion because was it Gotch or was it?
It was Simon Gotch.
It was Simon.
Gotch,
Okay, so
yeah.
it was Gotch. The first match that Enzo came back in with Enzo and Big Cass and then Vaudevillains, they did that same move because you just got to jump back on the horse. You just have to diffuse that now because we were all like, ooh, is this gonna? So you just have to get out of the way. These are professional athletes, ish happens, but then they're able to roll with it, bring it back, and keep on going.
Right, and it seemed like Rollins' main objective in this match was to show everybody that he's back and he can do it and he's good and he can do whatever.
Yeah.
Did you guys get that from him?
I did, and especially after watching his network special, the WWE 24.
So good.
He was saying he was kind of afraid to do the pedigree because of his knee, and I knew kind of go into this match, and I know he'd had a few matches, on some house shows, but I knew this was like the big stage. I know he was going to just kind of come out and just really test himself, and like I said, I thought this match was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was. What was your favorite part about the match, George?
Well, the spear into the
The
pedigree.
spear into the pedigree.
No,
Yeah,
this
was
one
it,
goes-
no. But I mean,
Sorry.
like, there was no other standout. These
are
guys
you
went
talking-
on for
are
a
you
good,
talking about the end of the
for a
match?
good
Are you talking about the end?
several minutes.
You said
Okay,
favorite
well.
part, not favorite parts.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have another
can-
favorite parts?
Yeah,
G Herm, did anything memorable happen? Maybe
got one.
towards the end. Mark, please.
It may not be exactly what you were referencing, but the corner power bomb, which Roman just came right out of in Superman Punch. That was pretty gnarly. That was pretty awesome.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. I bet our chat roll is blowing up over all this as well.
I honestly I like the fact that Roman Reigns is kind of in between as far as being a babyface and a heel. Like when people chanting, which by the way, Roman does not suck. Okay, that guy is really good. And he kind of
third generation wrestler.
and he
you
kind
can
of
see
like
it.
he kind of like smirks. He kind of like acknowledges and he smirks. I think that Roman Reigns is gold. Like when he kind of acknowledges, when he's like, well, F you, I'm still gonna do my thing. I'm still the man, not for long, obviously, but he's still, and rightfully so. I feel like he's still the guy.
Yeah, I prefer him chasing a title than holding a title, though. I will say that.
that's good, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of got that hungry conqueror kind of thing going on.
Yes.
And I prefer to see him in a chase than to hold it. He's not. I don't feel like he's a really good defender of something. I don't want him to have the title, but I want him to be chasing after somebody with it. So, like, can we just talk about the end of the match now?
Yes, girl, let's go there. I know this went over well with you, Markeia.
Well, first of all, I mean, the fact that Seth Rollins completely beat him clean.
Yeah.
Like, no cheating, no nothing. It was straight
I
up.
would have never guessed that.
never expected that
was
from Rollins.
no contest, all like dirty finish all the way. I mean, that was the biggest shock of the evening. I think to me was that this was a clean win.
Especially with Seth Rollins just back, I was like, it's going to be the main event for Battleground.
Yes.
You know, maybe with a stipulation, maybe finding
Carry
like
it
a
to
bigger
SummerSlam.
stipulation for SummerSlam, and the fact that it's like, and the way I see it, and you know, within the realm of professional wrestling, is Seth Rollins is better than Roman Reigns. You know.
In what way?
He beat him.
Oh, that's
With
right.
you know what I mean? And it's like, and it's one of those things where it's like,
Can't argue with that.
and like even going back to their original match, going back to Survivor Series, I'm like, well, maybe Seth Rollins, it was supposed to be the champ, you know, this whole time, you know, because he, you know, Roman Reigns is the champ because Seth Rollins wasn't around. It just kind of makes you think like, well, now I do, like you said, I do kind of like the fact that Roman's now chasing Seth as like, well, I know I'm better than him, but now I have to prove it.
Yeah. I was very surprised that it was a clean win, just for, and well, you kind of felt it from the narrative that they were establishing, where it's like, you know, he never actually lost it. It was because of injury, da da da. But if you think back when he like first won, you know, the WWE heavyweight champion, he kept it because he was in league with the Authority, and it's like they threw everything else at people. Ambrose still popped out of places, but he held it because he was basically a snake, not the snake, obviously, but he was basically like a snake-like character, and that's how he held on to it. And then for him to win clean tonight, and then for it to be stolen from him, fairly stolen from him. Thank you, Mark.
There it is.
Was so amazing, and it was just delicious. It was like all this history, and then for it to be the Shield, just like Mark was talking about before. It's like, could it get any better than that?
I mean, he reclaims the title, literally had it for seconds, maybe not even double-digit seconds before Ambrose comes up behind him. I mean,
Hits him with it.
I just don't like the double standard. If Dean Ambrose does it, he's a saint. If Sheamus does it, he's chastised for it. You know?
But the Sheamus thing was so every pay-per-view, is he gonna cash in, blah blah blah, and the story, and the Sheamus thing was so poor.
A real quick
That was
correction
done
for the guy in
so
the chat.
poorly.
Luke V, their first match was supposed to be at Night of Champions 2014.
Are you correcting our fans?
Well, you know,
That was
You know
the-
what,
that
fans?
was the hernia,
I
right?
apologize.
Yeah.
On behalf of
that was
George
Roman
Hermoza.
not being able to wrestle. But yeah, like I said, Dean Ambrose. And it is one of those where it's like,
Comes in from behind, cashes in, bell rings.
I don't want
What do
to
we
exactly say predictable, because I was like watching, I'm like, all right, here comes Dean.
Because they wanted us to
Here
think it
comes
was
Dean.
predictable.
Here comes Dean. But
like,
here's the thing.
oh.
Here's the thing that a lot of people misinterpret. Being predictable is not a bad thing. Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania 30 was predictable,
Yeah.
but it was the best thing ever. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, being predictable is not a bad thing.
I think it
Your
was
love for Daniel
it was
Bryan
heavily
knows no
wished.
bounds,
It was
does
heavily
it?
wished for, and it was granted.
Like, and especially if people want to see
For
it.
once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
they'll do something that we want to see.
Yes.
And we know Markeia wanted to see this. Was this the finish that you wanted tonight, George?
Not that I mean, it's one of those where it's like it didn't cross my mind, but now that now that it happened, I'm fine with it. You know, it's cool. Like I'm very very happy for Dean Ambrose. I think it's really cool that all three members of the Shield pretty much held the belt on the
Yeah.
same night within like
Yeah.
5 minutes of each other, maybe less.
Each of them are heavyweight champions. Well,
Yeah.
former heavyweight champions, heavyweight champions.
I mean, I honestly, the only thing is like, I know they've referenced this before, but I would have liked a bigger emphasis on like, hey Dean, you're the only person that has never won the championship. You know, it's me and Roman, and then you're this odd guy out. I would have liked to see more of that. That we would have saw the chase a little bit more, even without the Money in the Bank. But I mean, again, he's won it. I'm fine with it. I really want to know where they're going to go from here. Obviously, the triple threat match that everybody's been clamoring for
Yeah,
the
where
longest
do
time
we think we're going?
is going to happen. Just don't know when. Maybe SummerSlam. It can't happen at Battleground.
No.
There's no way they can do that for Battleground. I mean, Yeah.
I really enjoy where it can go from here now, because now that Dean Ambrose has it and he's crazy, you know, he's the Joker, but he's going to have the other two former members of S.H.I.E.L.D. chasing after him, along with Kevin Owens, along with Jericho, because he's Jericho.
Because he's got a couple more weeks before he has to go on tour with his band.
So it's just, it's going to be,
does,
it's going to be
actually.
really good.
Because I listen to his podcast all the time, and he always promotes whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
I just haven't
No
heard him
tour
promote.
this year?
I hadn't heard him promote Fozzy in a while.
I guess WWE is
He is-
paying him to stick around for
He
the
is
summer.
writing his 4th book.
Which George Hermoza is going to read.
His
'cause
books
he
are
does
amazing.
that.
His books are amazing.
Well, guys, so we talked a little bit about it, but where do you see this going with the members
Your
of the
AfterBuzz
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
TV predictions.
So we don't think we'll see it till SummerSlam. Will it be a triple threat? Is
honestly,
Dean going to hold it till then? What do you think?
I think that's like a WrestleMania dream match. So, I mean, I doubt that they're going to wait that long, even though that belongs on a WrestleMania.
Yeah, agreed.
But at the end of the day, I think that they've had too many triple threat matches for the belt, maybe in the past few years. With that said, I guess they're gonna just do it at SummerSlam. But I think the build up. So for Battleground, I don't know, like maybe like a 4-way match with what we've seen before with them and Orton. But I don't know.
oh,
yeah,
yes,
Orton's-
Randy's got to
Orton's
come
But
back
that's the
soon.
thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like watch, because I don't know what's gonna happen. I honestly have no idea. It kind of throws a big wrench. I thought it was literally gonna end in a no contest. They're gonna have a rematch at Battleground, et cetera, et cetera. Dean Ambrose is gonna tease
Maybe
it,
Dean
you
would
know.
cash in then or wait till
Because I literally could have seen like the promo that we saw on Monday, but now Dean's got the briefcase. Like I thought we were gonna see weeks of that. But no, like I said, I don't know where they're going. Tune in tomorrow, Raw,
Listen,
and
yeah,
find
if
out.
George
Happily-
Hermoza can't guess where they're going,
You
well,
just
there
seem
sure
like
as hell isn't any hope
happily
for the rest of
befuddled
us,
over
right?
here.
What do you think, Markeia?
Well, with like I was saying, we're gonna see some really great things with the other the former members of S.H.I.E.L.D. chasing after Dean now, definitely. I feel like we're gonna get even more strong tag team action. Like what we saw tonight was really good. So looking forward to more of that. I think that's probably gonna move us into when SmackDown Live goes in on Tuesdays. It's probably gonna have a strong tag team element with it. Hopefully, they're gonna get some more of the women's division involved in that too. There's a number of people, like just because they're on set doesn't mean that we can't have them on SmackDown Live, since we're not using them on Raw. Yes, Naomi, and I can name other names too. Eventually, I would love to have Bayley go into SmackDown Live. I think it's past time to have some hugs.
Yes.
So and also to just throw it out there, also a tag team women's championship. I want that. We have enough. We can build up some more, and we could definitely move that into SmackDown Live, if not Raw. Also.
What I kind of want to see is like in the next few weeks, you have a #1 contenders match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, where the winner faces Dean Ambrose, and the loser is a special guest referee. just to mess with them.
Fun.
But I'm kind of curious if
I think you might be onto something there,
I'm kind of
G-Herm.
curious if Triple H comes back soon, and where does he tie into all this? Because he was the champion before Roman
Wait,
Reigns.
who? Who? What? Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, exactly, but I
almost
mean-
forgot that he existed.
But last time Triple H was there, he was a champion. Last time Seth Rollins was
There
there,
it is.
he was aligned with Triple H. So
That's
I kind of
true.
see like how that's going to tie in. Like, is he going to come back? Is he going to stick with NXT? Is he going to show up for the draft? Or who knows? Like I said, so many things to look forward to.
Right, but you made a good point that Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose are still kind of buds.
Yeah.
Like to the fans, like they're still kind of buds. So maybe we bring Triple H in, we do some tag team action
Like I
to
said,
hold us over until SummerSlam.
I think that
That
there's
would be interesting.
so
I
many
could roll with
possibilities
that.
as opposed to last pay-per-view where it's like, oh, it's obviously going to be Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins right after the pay-per-view ended. Now it's like, well, there's so many possibilities, and that I think that's one of my favorite parts about pro wrestling. Now, especially with the draft, it's like, does Finn Balor come in? Is AJ Styles going to get back in the mix? He has a pinfall victory over John Cena.
Yeah, we need more Finn.
And that's the thing, George, is this will be the first pay-per-view right after SmackDown moves to Tuesdays. This will be
There you go.
literally the Sunday after. So
So.
I think they'll have very few matches booked until a couple of weeks before,
Yeah.
and even those could get changed with the draft.
Oh yeah, because we got to do the superstar draft. There are a lot of rumored comeuppances coming from NXT. Is that the way to put it? Will Dean Ambrose
Not only
keep
that,
the title?
there are a lot of rumors that they're going to re-sign a bunch of people that haven't been with the company for a few years. Like Jeff Hardy, I don't know how long he's under contract for.
Ryback.
No, Carla. So we don't know how
He's
these
still
guys
under
fit.
contract.
That's true. Yes, please.
Although,
Can
is it just me, or did Apollo Crews kind of have his color scheme?
Oh, you're like, nope. They gave away his black and orange. He's done.
Yeah. Oh, it was like red and blue. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But if he starts
That
wearing
was so long
singlets,
ago.
that's when you get worried.
Yeah.
But again, and then
yeah.
throw in Randy Orton, who should be back any day. Throw in Bray Wyatt, who should be back any day.
Bray Wyatt
Yeah.
has been rumored to be returning.
like-
And then
very
treat
soon.
him right. Treat him right.
Like, is he gonna stay a babyface where they kind of teased it toward right before he got hurt? Like, so many things that's gonna happen. I'm so excited to be a pro wrestling
Such
fan.
a good time to be a sports entertainment fan, George Hermoza. Will Ambrose keep the title? What is Bad Natty gonna be up to? Apollo Crews, will he keep smiling? I don't know. We will be here to break it
and not
all
only that,
down for you.
Where's Brock Lesnar, who's confirmed for SummerSlam, gonna fit in?
Ooh, there
I know
we
he's
go.
fighting at
Another
UFC
good
card.
question, G.
UFC in a
Herm.
few weeks, but they pretty much said, hey, even though he's fighting at UFC 200, he's still going to be at SummerSlam.
Oh, for sure.
So where does he fit in? You know, so many possibilities.
Well, guys, if the fans want to tweet at you and continue this discussion, where would they do that? Markeia McCarty.
Yes, you can tweet and look at my pictures on Instagram at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty. I also do a couple of after shows here. I love doing this with them, but I also do a Raw recap and Sailor Moon Crystal. I believe we have 2 episodes left, so that'll be tomorrow if you want to join me at 8 and also at 10 for those. And then my Snapchat is Darth Thin Mints, and just look at my life.
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Snapchat. I'm selling all these magazines on my eBay page. Like I said, some of them are already up for auction, so they'll be gone forever, and many, many more.
They're not nudie magazines, podcasters. They're
Yeah.
WWE magazines. Just FYI.
Yeah, like I said, there's some cool throwback stuff. Like I said, it can be yours for for the grand auction. Like I said, G Hermoza, GHERMOZA, Twitter, Twitch, Snapchat, Instagram. What am I missing?
I think that covers
think
it.
that's
huh?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you
That
got
and
it.
your Lana.
Snapchat.
You guys can
Periscope.
tweet and Instagram and snap along with me at Christy Reports. Please also watch Hollywood 911 on Reels channel Saturday nights at 10 p.m. You'll see me a little bit there. And subscribe to my YouTube channel at Christy Reports. We have had so much fun breaking down Money in the Bank with you. You can catch Markeia on the Raw After Show, me and George on the Total Divas After Show when that fires up again. Please watch SmackDown Thursday nights until we move to Tuesdays. Until then, catch us all on social media. Follow the entire AfterBuzz TV team at AfterBuzz TV. Give us that thumbs up. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you for Battleground in a couple weeks. Take care.
I think I have a tout, too.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.